Hello everyone. Today we are going to create a small project using the if and else statement. For this we are going to basically analyze if the number is odd or even and the counts and find the sum also as well and finally print the final result. So firstly what we're going to do is we're going to take two inputs. I'm sorry, three inputs because three numbers. So let's just create a variable and then the let's take input from the user into similarly let's another variable is going to be input into the second number and finally number three number. Now that I have created three variables, we're going to start um, defining the values for each one. Now let's start. The first thing that we need is an event count, odd count, even sum, and odd sum. So even underscore count equals to 0. Similarly, odd count equals to 0, and sum score even equals to 0, and even sorry, sum underscore odd equals to 0. Now let's start with the main logic, which is that we're gonna use if and else statement to find if the number is even or odd. So if num1 uh, modulus 2 equals to 0, it's going to print num1 comma is given. And similarly we're also going to add the event count, event underscore count, which will basically be the incrementation of 1. This basically means event count equals to event count plus 1. Now similarly what we're going to do is sum even even and plus equals to num1. And again what we're going to do is use the else statement to print the odd. Is odd, right? And so we're gonna create the odd underscore count plus 2 1 sum underscore odd plus equals to 1. Now this process will go on for 3 numbers. So what I'm gonna do is press shift or down twice. Now let's add some small gapping and change the variable name to 2 and here as well, here as well. Num2 num2 and number 2. Oh, sorry. This for the last one is going to be number 3, 3, and oh, sorry. It looks like I made a mistake here. Should be number 3 here as well. Number 3. Okay. Now it's turn for all of the if num 2, so it's going to be number 3 here. Okay, now the logic is completed, and it's time for us to display what the values of the inputs that we will put will be. So let's use print slash n for the correct so that there will be new line. I'm sorry, it should be inside of in report. Let's say this will be the report of the or an even analyzer, the even even count is to comma even count, and similarly odd count. I'm sorry, there should not be this because this is a string. It doesn't affect the code whatsoever. Comma odd count print uh, sum of even numbers mm, sum underscore even. Let's do this sum of odd. Now let's save this and let's run it. Okay, so let's do this as well. For better spacing and all, and let's clear the terminal, remove this and this. Let's run the program again. Okay, so now we have decent spacing. Let's say 2, 3, 6. So we can see that 2 is even, 3 is odd, and 6 is even obviously. And the report also says so even count is 2 because there are 2 even count, and odd is 1 obviously. Sum of even number is 2, 6 plus 2, 7, 8, which is 1 here. Sum of odd number is 3, odd number is 6, sorry. Okay, so okay, it's because of the value that is added, which is the sum of odd number, and it kept on adding the previous values as well. So that's why it's 6, because 3 plus 3 is 6, and it also added the sorry, it incremented itself with that one as well. So like number 3, so let's say I use number 2 here. Number 2 I had added with here, so the problem was here, and that's why it added like that. So let's try to run again. Let's remove this and run. So first number, let's say 236. We see now the problem has been solved. Now let's start with understanding the logic, and if you understand one logic, it should be easy to understand all of it, because it's literally the same thing, just repeat it. So firstly, we just checked the reminder. If let's say a number has been used by the uh, user, and if it's divided by 2, it should give the value 0, which means that it's an even number if it returns 0, because any number divided by 2 is obviously an even number. So that's why we're going to print number 1, which is even. Then for the even count, what I've done is that we basically added, or should I say incremented, for whatever the even count that will be, which is 0, obviously starting from, and plus 1. So yeah, so increment would be 1 if it is even and completed, and the sum of even would also be plus equals to sum of even, which is going to go from 0 to number plus 1 plus number 1. So let's say we have entered a value which is 2, so it's going to be 2, and that's how it worked for it, and that's why number 2 was shown to be even. On the other hand, what we've used on the else is that the odd ones. So basically, if number 1 is divided by 2, but it doesn't get the result which is 0, then it's obviously an odd number. So the odd count would be added, because we've used the logic here to add odd count when an event in an event that the odd number is printed. So, and similarly, sum of odd number would also be added here. I think there should be, this should also be related to num1. Yeah, this is the correct one. Sorry, there were some mistakes. Okay, and then sum of odd number will basically be the number which is provided by the user, and the incrementation from the 0, which is number 1. And each time the value will be counted in each of the sections, so 3 sections. So that's why that we are also able to get the sum of even numbers and sum of odd numbers, and the total even count and odd count as well. And thank you.